the mountains ring, make the angels cry. Those birds on the wing, you may not know why.
Hey, sing along.
Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some will come and some will go, we will surely pass. When the one who left us here returns for us at last, we are but moments of sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. You hold the key of love and fear on your trembling hand, and just one key unlocks your load. There at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Right now, right now.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
So as you can see, we have second string up here today. We have Roy Martin and Ellen Hutto, and there goes Marilyn Martin. Thank you so much, Marilyn, for your beautiful music. Filling the neighborhood with love, right? And so I just invite you right now to breathe with me as I settle down. Breathe a mindful breath and relax into this beautiful, beautiful day outside this morning. Feel the presence of love within you. Just feel that love warming your heart, warming your body, sending a tingly, glowing light throughout your heart space and growing bigger and bigger. We join together this morning as CSL, and we merge our lights together as one light. We expand our love as one love. And as we speak our purpose statement this morning together, we focus joy and peace upon ourselves, each other, and the whole world. So in your handout is our purpose statement, and we will speak it together right now. As an intentional spiritual community, the purpose of CSL is to be a living environment for individuals to realize that we are all unique emanations of God that love intelligence governing the universe. We embody the truth of the oneness with God, and we consciously practice this truth in our everyday life through the exploration of new thought, ageless wisdom, and the energy of unconditioned love. We are dedicated to individual transformation and to being a beneficial presence in the world.
I will make a quiet place, quiet place within my mind, and I will listen, Holy Spirit, I will listen. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. I will make a quiet place. A quiet place within my life, and I will listen, Holy Spirit, I will listen. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place.
And in this quiet place, I realize the infinite oneness that is God, that ever-present substance that composes all people, all places, and all things. This energy of God shows up in the most natural and organic ways, from the earth at its very core to the tiniest of atoms in the universe we are not even aware of yet. I know from the center of my being, God is the foundation of all things. Just as the soil beneath the surface is the foundation that supports the roots of a tree, I know the divine is the foundation that supports every aspect of my being. As I realize the power and strength of what this truth means to me, I take a deep breath. Because the understanding that I am one with this very fabric and the essence of all life is a game changer. This absolute knowing courses through my body on a deep and empowering level that can never be taken from me. I feel intimately and strongly connected to all. I experience a confidence and a strength in this knowing. As I recognize and feel what it means to know the qualities of being grounded in God, I experience the qualities of power, love, freedom, peace, and joy. And I know that I am one with the intangible essence of an unadulterated love. I know I am safe, and I know all is well. I give incredible thanks to know this truth. I give thanks for the peace and confidence in my step, in my voice, in my thoughts, and in my body, as I embark on the adventures of today and every day going forward. The love, the peace, the being, and the flow, as I joyfully embody what it means to be and stay grounded, is unmatched. I am grateful to be grounded in my body. I am grateful to be grounded in my thoughts. I am grateful to be grounded in my interactions with myself and others. I give deep and incredible thanks to know these truths. As I release this word into the law, I know without a shadow of a doubt that as these words are spoken, it is done. And so it is.
It is. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul.
Hi, I'm Lou, the imposter. I always love when they say, "Can you fill in?" And I'm like, those are really big shoes to fill in for, but I'll find something. So I have two quotes today, both from Ernest Holmes. One is, Wisdom, strength, courage, and all harmonious conditions are a direct result of spiritual power, with which we are already equipped. And the other, life is an internal givingness, the offering of the cosmic self to the joy of its own fulfillment. You and I are part of this joy, and we find fulfillment only as this joy passes through us to others. Prayer chest? You want me to say that? You want to say that? Okay. Just a reminder that the prayer chest is behind the sign there. We have the opportunity for you to leave any troubles or worries or concerns here with us. And as a community, we offer spiritual mind treatment for those. So don't forget about that.
Thank you so much, Mariah. Wasn't her prayer beautiful? Yeah, she's just got a lovely speaking voice. Thank you, Mariah, so much. Hi, everybody. Hi. So I'm a little frazzled this morning, actually. You can see Dave and Tamara aren't here. Thank you so much to Roy and Ellen for filling in for us. They're getting to be awesome at this as well. And they have to like fly by the seat of their pants with me. So thank you for flying with me by the seats of your pants. So let me tell you just a little why I'm a little bit frazzled, because remember when I was telling you, maybe I didn't tell you, but over the pandemic, I have 5 kids, and 4 of them got married over the pandemic without me, right? All by themselves. And I'm the mom, and in case you didn't know, and yeah. So I was like, okay, so that's how it's going to be. And we had 2 babies in there as well, and you know how it is, you mask and holding the baby, you know. So anyway, my son Derek decided, they went ahead and got married by themselves and signed the certificate because they wanted a certain date. You know, kids do whatever they want these days. And I guess we did too, right? But they changed their mind then and wanted a ceremony. And so they planned this ceremony kind of small. She decided she wanted her dad to walk her down the aisle, and they wanted some witnesses. So it's just going to be, 30 family. I have a lot of family, 5 kids. So there's just going to be 30 people, and they were going to do it on the mesa. Well, they kept running into issues. They didn't just double the price all of a sudden. I don't know what happened. It was all of a sudden Color Sunday, and they said, oh, well, now it's this much money. And they were like, it was a lot more money. And they changed the time from 4 in the afternoon to you got from 6 to 7. And we're like, what? How does that work? So anyway, Roy and I were talking about it. And we decided to offer our home. We live close up onto the mesa there, so we offered our home for their wedding. And, it's kind of exciting and fun, but it was wedding in a day. We had very little time, and we rocked this wedding. It was awesome. I had the help of my kids, and Roy just built this awesome arbor thing out of wood. He's so creative, and the kids loved it. And we have music in our family. They provided music. And so I'm still coming down from the high, so be careful what we ask for, huh? You want to be involved, you get to do it here. Food for 30, all of that. So it fits right into our theme for September, and this is our last, is this our last? Sure is. Yeah. Our last Sunday in September, and our theme is surrender. So I had told you before how I had to be practicing surrender this whole month for things. It's just, first and foremost on my mind, oh my gosh, I have to surrender this. I was taking things personally. I was sending my ego to do the work, all those things that we do all the time. Surrender, surrender. So here and now I have a wedding with a bride who was absolutely wonderful, I have to say, to work with, her and my son. But still, it was my house. We have a tiny house, and we had to do a lot of surrendering yesterday. So Roy is recovering from my family. So thank you, Roy, for that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about surrender today. And actually, I wanted to focus a little bit on what's beyond surrender today. So let's see. I've titled today's message, Acceptance, Enjoyment, Enthusiasm. Now that sounds fun, right? Acceptance, enjoyment, enthusiasm. But before we end up there, that's where we're going, okay? Before we end up there, I'd like to visit the pathway to get there, which I think is surrender, okay? In Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth, hands who've read A New Earth, yeah. In my humble opinion, this is one of the very best books to learn about surrender. So he talks about something that he calls, at the end of the book, he talks about something he calls the modalities of awakened doing. Okay? This would be the idea of living our everyday life in the heightened state of awareness that we are more than what we are doing, or more than the physical world shows us who we are. So actually living and doing. It's kind of like lucid living instead of lucid dreaming, where you're living your life, yet you know this isn't the whole truth of your life. The physical world is kind of like a dream state in that it disguises the truth in form. It takes on form and disguises the truth from us, right? The invisible substance, or that creative God energy, it takes form as the appearances that we sense with our senses. And they appear to be reality. But in lucid living, we know them to be just reflections of our inner state of being. The cause, or the realness, is always in our own consciousness, in our own individual consciousness. And the result, or the effect, is the outer form, or the physical realm. So to live life from this perception, in my opinion, does two like opposing things at the same time, which is like the natural paradox of spirit, right? It's just paradox all over the place. It puts us in complete control of our vibrational frequency by allowing us to surrender our control to spirit as our reality. Spirit is whole, perfect, and complete. Choosing to surrender is choosing to see life, or to think of life, in a new way. We intentionally choose to think new thoughts about our relationship to life. And in this case, we think on spirit, or God, as being first cause. And we find that our true identity is in that thinking. Our true identity is there. We are always at choice, are we not? It is our responsibility to lift ourselves up to the thoughts of the Most High, and beyond thought even, in the realization of love, peace, light, and the grace of the Beloved living within us. As we intentionally live our life from awakened doing, which is what Eckhart Tolle calls it, everything we do then is from an awakened state of consciousness, allowing divine consciousness to flow through us into what we're doing. That's what I want. Doing life this way takes the hard work and the struggle out of it, and it can instead offer lightness and grace to our everyday tasks. Whenever we are doing life from outside of at least one of these modalities, either acceptance, enjoyment, or enthusiasm, when we're doing things or doing life outside of one of those, then we'll find that we are creating suffering for ourselves and oftentimes for others as well. They like that, right?
That was their amen.
That's right. So, how do we get to the place of operating out of these three modalities? That's what we all want to know, right? And so, from the book of The Power of Now, which is his first book, Eckhart Tolle's first book, he says, when you complain, you make yourself a victim. Leave the situation, change the situation, or accept the situation. All else is madness. I like that. So I want to read just a little bit out of The Power of Now. And this chapter is called Wherever You Are, Be There Totally. He says, see if you can catch yourself complaining in either speech or thought. You're still complaining even if you don't say it out loud, right? In speech or thought about a situation that you find yourself in. What other people do or say, your surroundings, your life situation, even the weather. We know we can find plenty of the things to complain. To complain is always non-acceptance of what is. It invariably carries an unconscious negative charge. When you complain, you make yourself a victim. So change the situation by taking action or by speaking out if necessary or possible. Not always possible, right? Leave the situation if necessary or possible, or your last chance, accept it, right? Ordinary unconsciousness is always linked in some way with denial of the now moment, what is happening right now. The now, of course, also implies the here and now. Are you resisting your here and now? Some people would always rather be somewhere else. Their here is never good enough. Through self-observation, find out if that is the case in your life. Wherever you are, be there totally. If you find your here and now intolerable and it makes you unhappy, you have three options. Remove yourself from the situation, change the situation, or accept it totally. If you want to take responsibility for your life, you must choose one of these three options. You must choose now. Then accept your consequences. No excuses, no negativity, no psychic pollution. Keep your inner space clear. These are all Eckhart Tolle's words, okay? If you take any action, leaving or changing your situation, he says drop the negativity first, if at all possible. Any action is often better than no action at all. I remember you said that about your dad one time. He used to say,
do something even if it's wrong.
Right? Okay, so here's Eckhart Tolle. He's going to back this up, right? He says, any action is often better than no action, especially if you have been stuck in an unhappy situation for a long time. He says, if it is a mistake, at least you will learn something, in which case, it's no longer a mistake, right? If you remain stuck, you learn nothing. So go dad, right? If there is truly nothing that you can do to change your here and now, and you can't remove yourself from the situation, then accept your here and now totally by dropping your inner resistance to it. The false, unhappy self that loves feeling miserable, resentful, or sorry for itself can no longer survive when you drop your inner resistance. This is called surrender. He says surrender is not weakness. There is great strength in it. Only a surrendered person has spiritual power. That's a big statement, right? Only a surrendered person has spiritual power. Through surrender, you will be free internally of the situation. You may then find that the situation changes without any effort on your part. That's the miracle of surrender. In any case, you are free, he says. To some people, surrender may have negative connotations, implying defeat, giving up, failing to rise to the challenges of life, becoming lethargic, and so on. He says true surrender, however, is something entirely different. It does not mean to passively put up with whatever situation you find yourself in and do nothing about it. Okay, do you hear that? It's not passively giving up and putting up with a situation. Nor does it mean to cease making plans or initiating positive action. Surrender is the simple but profound wisdom of yielding to, rather than opposing, the flow of life. The only place where you can experience the flow of life is where? In the now. So to surrender is to accept the present moment unconditionally and without reservation. Surrender is a purely inner phenomenon. It does not mean that on the outer level you cannot take action and change the situation. In fact, it is not the overall situation that you need to accept when you surrender. This is good, right? The only thing you need to surrender is the tiny segment that we call now, the present moment. So he gives an example, so we can all get it here. For example, if you're stuck in the mud somewhere, you wouldn't say, okay, I resign myself to be stuck in the mud, right? Resignation is not surrender. You don't need to accept an undesirable or an unpleasant life situation. Nor do you need to deceive yourself and say that there is nothing wrong with being stuck in the mud. No. You recognize fully that you want to get out of it. You then narrow your attention down to the present moment without mentally labeling it in any way. So you see that label puts judgment on it. Okay? This means that there is no judgment of the now. Therefore, there is no resistance, no emotional negativity. You accept the isness of this moment. Then you take action and do all that you can to get out of the mud. Such action I call positive action. It is far more effective than negative action, which arises out of anger and despair and frustration. Until you achieve the desired result, you continue to practice surrender by refraining from labeling the now, which is another way of saying stop judging what's happening right now, mostly as right or wrong. He says, let me give you a visual analogy to illustrate the point I am making. You are walking along a path at night surrounded by thick fog, but you have a powerful flashlight that cuts through the fog and creates a narrow, clear space in front of you. Y'all see that? The fog is your life situation, which includes the past and the future. The flashlight is your conscious presence. The clear space is the now moment. Okay, so that's the end of his excerpt in that book. So let's get back to the idea of awakened doing, because that's what we all want here. We need to know how to bring outer action to our inner surrendered state to complete the circle, right? How do we act after we surrender? And as Eckhart just said, you can accept the isness of a situation by not judging it to be wrong, and then take positive action from that state of surrender. And he calls that awakened doing. Doing or taking action from an awakened state of consciousness. And so now from A New Earth, I want to read a little about, in the very back, he talks about awakened doing. After this whole book, you get to awakened doing, okay? There are 3 modalities in which you can align your life with the creative power of the universe. Anybody want to align your life with the creative power? Whew. What you do will be dysfunctional and of the ego unless it arises out of one of these three modalities. They may change during the course of a day, although one of them may be dominant during a certain stage of your life. Each modality is appropriate to certain situations. The modalities of awakened doing are acceptance, enjoyment, and enthusiasm. Each one represents a certain vibrational frequency of consciousness. You need to be vigilant to make sure that one of them operates whenever you are engaged in doing anything at all, from the most simple task to the most complex. Acceptance. He says, whatever you cannot enjoy doing, you can at least accept that this is what you have to do. Acceptance means, for now, this is what the situation is, and this moment requires me to do, and so I do it willingly. Performing an action in the state of acceptance means you are at peace while you do it. That peace is a subtle energy vibration which then flows into what you're doing. On the surface, acceptance looks like a passive state, but in reality, it is active and creative because it brings something entirely new into this world. If you can neither enjoy or bring acceptance to what you do, then stop. Otherwise, you are not taking responsibility for the only thing that you can really take responsibility for, which also happens to be the one thing that really matters, and that is your state of consciousness. And if you are not taking responsibility for your state of consciousness, you are not taking responsibility for your life. So he goes on to enjoyment. Talk about that for just a minute. The peace that comes with surrendered action turns to a sense of aliveness when you actually enjoy what you're doing. Enjoyment is the second modality of awakened doing. On the new earth, enjoyment will replace wanting as the motivating power behind people's actions. That's exciting, huh? Wanting arises from the ego's delusion that you are a separate fragment that is disconnected from the power that lies behind all creation. Through enjoyment, you link into that universal creative power itself. When you make the present moment, instead of past and future, the focal point of your life, your ability to enjoy what you do, and with it, the quality of your life increases dramatically. Don't ask your mind for permission to enjoy what you do. All you will get is plenty of reasons why you can't enjoy it. Not now, the mind will say. Can't you see I'm busy? There's no time. Maybe tomorrow you can start enjoying. Anybody relate to that? Right? That tomorrow will never come unless you begin enjoying what you are doing right now. When you say, I enjoy doing this or that, that is really a misperception. It makes it appear that the joy comes from what you do, but that is not the case. Joy does not come from what you do. Joy flows into what you do, and thus into the world from deep within you. The misperception that joy comes from what you do is normal, and it is also dangerous because it creates the belief that joy is something that can be derived from something else, such as an activity or a thing. You then look to the world to bring you joy, happiness, but it cannot do that. The world is not giving them what they think they need. You will enjoy any activity in which you are fully present. Any activity that is not just a means to an end. I find that so much of what we do is a means to get to the next thing. I got to wash my hands so I can make dinner. right? Well, I got to make dinner so I can put the kids to bed, or whatever it is a means to get to the next thing. He's talking about enjoying washing your hands, right? If you're enjoying every task you do, all of a sudden, you're enjoying your life, right? It isn't the action you perform that you really enjoy, but the deep sense, there's our friend, but a deep sense of aliveness that flows into it. The aliveness is one with who you are. All right, next, enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, it means there is a deep enjoyment in what you do, plus the added element of a goal or a vision that you were working towards. When you add a goal to the enjoyment of what you do, the energy field or the vibrational frequency changes. At the height of creative activity, fueled by enthusiasm, there will be enormous intensity and energy behind what you do. You will feel like an arrow that is moving toward the target and enjoying the journey. To an onlooker, it may appear that you are under stress. Some of us can relate to this, right? But the intensity of enthusiasm has nothing to do with stress. When you want to arrive at your goal more than you want to be doing what you are doing, then you become stressed. Stress always diminishes both the quality and the effectiveness of what you do under its influence. Unlike stress, enthusiasm has a high energy frequency, so it resonates with the creative power of the universe. With enthusiasm, you will find that you don't have to do it all by yourself. In fact, sustained enthusiasm brings into existence a wave of creative energy, and all you have to do then is ride the wave. Just a little bit more here. Through enthusiasm, you enter into full alignment with the outgoing creative principle of the universe. He says, but nobody can live in enthusiasm all the time, right? When the return movement toward the dissolution of form sets in, then enthusiasm no longer serves you. Enthusiasm belongs to the outgoing cycle of life. It is only through surrender that you can align yourself with the return movement of life, the journey home. So I was asking myself, what makes us resist this present moment? That seems to be the issue, right? Resisting the present moment. What makes us resist the present moment so much? And I believe really there's just one answer, and that is fear. We don't always know that it's fear. It shows up maybe in different ways, but I think the culprit is always fear. Fear that in some way something is wrong, right? I said that last week, right? When we are in fear, we are in like a forgetful state. We're asleep to the truth of who we really are. We mistakenly think that we are alone, disconnected and weak, that we're a victim. But that's really not our truth, right? That's not what we teach. We must wake up and realize our power and our strength in our Christed self. Our power and strength in God. That is released through us as we surrender our fear to the beauty and the wholeness of this present moment right now. Can you enjoy your present moment right this very second? I invite you to close your eyes and receive this short prayer from Marianne Williamson. And then allow your answers to bubble up from within you over the next week or so, and stay awake to your inner stirrings and the intuition guiding you along the way. So breathe deep. Exhale, relax, and be open and receptive just for a moment. Dear God, please show me the way. What thoughts do I need to think to be able to navigate my life at this point? What perceptions do I need? What insights will guide me? Who do I need to forgive? What parts of my personality do I need to look at? What changes do I need to make? Please, come upon me. Heal my life now. Amen. So, talking about fear just for a minute. Is Karen out there, Karen Floyd? So, Karen did a workshop last week on surrender. And so here's the takeaway that I got from that workshop. And I hadn't heard this before, surprisingly. I had not heard this. She was talking about what fear stands for, like an acronym, right? And I love this acronym. Fear, forgetting everything's all right. Doesn't that about sum it up, right? Because when you remember everything's all right, that means everything is all right. You're right, and I'm right. That's a big difference. That's a big difference in how we look at things instead of I'm right and you're wrong, or even you're right and I'm wrong. Everything's all right. Ready? All right. Sing if you know it.
Say it's all right. Say it's all right.
It's all right.
'Cause it's all right. Have a good time. 'Cause it's all right. Oh, it's all right. Now listen to the beat. Kinda tap your feet. 'Cause you got soul. Everybody knows that it's all right. Oh, it's all right. We're gonna move it slow. When the lights are low. When you move it slow, it sounds like home. 'Cause it's all right. Oh, it's all right. When you wake up early in the morning, feeling sad like so many of us do. Oh, my little soul, make life your goal. Surely something's gotta come to you to say it's all right.
It's all right.
Say it's all right.
It's all right.
'Cause it's all right. Have a good time. It's all right. Oh, it's all right. Now everybody clap your hands.
Clap your hands.
Give yourself a chance.
Give yourself a chance.
'Cause you got soul. And everybody knows that it's all right. Oh, it's all right. Someday I'll find me a woman who will love and treat me real nice. And my world's got to go. My love, she will know morning, noon, and night. And she got to say it's all right.
It's all right.
Say it's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. Have a good time. It's all right. Oh, it's all right. Come on and clap your hands.
Clap your hands.
Give yourself a chance.
Give yourself a chance.
'Cause you got soul. Everybody knows that it's all right. Oh, it's all right.
much fun to sing with them. Thank you so much. From Marianne Williamson, she says, "Nothing binds you except your thoughts. Nothing limits you except your fear. And nothing controls you except your beliefs." Eckhart Tolle says, "The primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about the situation," right? So as we surrender to the one perfect intelligence that's governing our life by accepting instead of resisting the miracle of divine presence in this moment, we open the way for that perfect intelligence to express through us and manifest for us our enjoyment and enthusiasm for life, one moment at a time. Are you willing to let go and accept this gift? Let me hear you.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay.
Amen.
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moonglow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe, and your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I am, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I am, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I am is you.
As the ushers come forward, your offering affirmation is on our handout. I am abundant and I live in an abundant universe.
Thank you, Mariah. Thank you.
My digital devices on my fingers and my toes. I don't take a smartphone everywhere I go.
Dancing alone.
I'm still connected, yes I am. Conversations with God on a 3-monthly plan. My digital devices on my fingers and my toes. Practicing the presence that sets me free. My virtues and my vices, I let them be. First I take the time to be still and know I know what to do, so I get up and go. Practicing the presence sets me free. So I treat and move my feet in the direction of my dreams. Sometimes it's not perfect, wholly complete, until I move my feet.
Can't say me, oh Linda. Woo!
I change my thinking, I change my life. Love dissolves fear, love dissolves struggle and strife. Getting in tune with a higher vibration, doing the work with the realization. I change my thinking, I change my life. So I treat my feet in the direction of my dreams. Sometimes it's not perfect, whole and complete, until I move my feet. Well, everybody else, let's dream and move our feet in the direction of our dreams. Sometimes it's not perfect, whole and complete, until we move our feet. Let's dream and move our feet. Let's dream and move our feet. Let's dream and move our feet in the direction of our dreams.
The best of the best there. And we gratefully receive all of these tithes pressed into service into our community, our state, our country, and our world. And we are thankful for the opportunity to practice our spiritual presence, our spiritual tool of tithing. And so it is.
Amen.
And in your program, so we have claiming our good together, and this will be the last time for these sentences. Of course, for your extra credit, you can always take this paper home and say these on your own at home. So we're just going to read them straight down. Here we go. I release my control of things I cannot change. Instead of trying to force things to go a certain way, I trust the universe is working on my behalf. I see everything in life has its own time and place, and I allow all to be as it is. I let go, I let God, and so it is.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be.
No, look, we have our affirmation at the end. So everybody get out, because I want to hear it all over the neighborhood. Ready? Here we go.
I am beautiful.
Inside and out.
Okay, we're going to double that. One more time. Ready? I am
Beautiful. Inside